Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show.
Yay. Oh, we're starting?
Yes.
Okay. I love it.
You love the hairs?
Yes.
Andy talked me into it, and I was like, I'm doing a corporate this week. How do you think they'll respond? And then I found out it's not a corporate.
Oh, well, first of all, your hair's purple.
My hair's purple, you
The
guys.
front part.
Right. Not all of it.
Not all of it.
Right,
So
just
people
kidding,
will
just
know that you dyed it and it's not naturally purple.
It's
but
not
you're okay with
naturally
that?
purple. Yeah,
Okay.
I think I am. It is okay. It's good to know.
Yeah, it looks great. I love
And
it. I love it. I love it.
It's super fun.
Yeah,
And do you have a set tonight?
I do.
Where?
I'm doing the C Word show at the Comedy Store.
What time is that?
I think it's at either 8 or 9 o'clock.
Can I have it? What?
No. What the fuck? God damn.
Come on.
I'm hustling as hard as I can, Jackie. I'm not giving this shit away.
I know it. I haven't gone up I did a set, I believe Friday night. And then that was the first set I did because I've had the stomach flu all week long. I've had a stomach bug or some darn thing. And so I've had.
So did you have to cancel spots?
No.
Good. You didn't
But
have
I did
anything?
not. I
Or
only
you didn't
had
try to get one.
I didn't try to get any.
Right.
And I decided, because I didn't feel good, that I would not try to get any. That's where that story was.
I know that you were sick and it was tummy stuff, which leads to other things.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't it nice to, you can't go out. There's no
Can't go
pressure.
out.
It's not like, oh, I'm being lazy. It's like, no, I'm going to shit on things, so I can't go out.
Right. It was bad. And it's just almost better right now. I even went to Kaiser. To go to Kaiser means that something's gone terribly wrong.
Right.
That I'm willing to deal with their telephone system and,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But it seems like you have had success with Kaiser.
Always successful. Always a positive experience.
Right.
But I don't want to. And so I called up and I talked to, essentially you have to email your doctor.
Yeah.
And then a different doctor calls you back four times until she finally gets a hold of you.
Oh, God.
And then she says, what's it like, your sickness? And
So they're doing everything they're trying to troubleshoot on the phone so
Yes.
you don't come in.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's fine. They essentially, I think they're like, if she was really sick, she'd go to urgent care or the ER.
That's a healthy attitude to have towards patients.
It's a weird...
It's very costly.
It's right. It feels like... I talked to a guy, though, who told me that they weren't going to do something. And I said, can you put it in my record? And he said, yeah. And I knew that he was not going to put it on anything. So good for him for making $15 an hour.
He stuck up for himself.
Yeah, and it's for the best. So what I'm saying is I went up on Friday at a golf course in Van Nuys.
Oh.
On Woodley and Victory.
Outdoor or indoor?
It was an indoor event, but I got there and it was dead. It looked like a horror movie kind of situation because it was at 8:00 on Friday night.
Yeah.
The driving range was lit.
Yeah.
And I was like, is it by the driving range? It could be. It's stand-up comedy in Los Angeles, right?
Yes, of course.
And so I go over there and I see where the golf carts are and I see some people golfing, driving range. And then I walk back and I can't get into the main club. And Andy's waiting for me to go in so that I'm not murdered alone. He'd like to witness it from the car.
Of course he would.
And so then I'm like, one more shot on the third building. And so I go to the third building, and there it is, a weird bar.
Okay.
And the room slightly too well lit, sort of like like
in a hotel conference room or something.
Yeah. Lutheran pancake breakfast is what it felt like.
Okay.
Kind of had it a little bit, but everyone was very nice.
Yeah.
And there were several comics went up before me. And
is this a monthly show?
Every couple of months.
Okay.
And paid a couple of bucks via the Venmo.
My name, more than welcome. Someone's more than welcome to put my name in contention.
At least 3 of the comics were fans of Jackie and Laurie.
Oh, hey.
Audience had never heard of it.
Of course. We have a demo. It's a demo that doesn't pay for comedy.
Exactly.
Because they're giving comedy.
Yes.
Well, my mom.
Yes.
So I had a show at Bar Lubitsch on Friday.
Yeah.
And I get home from work. I have what I think is going to be 2 glorious hours because my son is with his dad.
Yep.
My mom is holed up in her room.
Yeah.
And I can just be at peace and let my mind wander.
Mm-hmm.
And her leg is covered with bruises, hematomas, and
Right. Is she on a blood thinner?
yeah, and
Yeah.
she
So she
was
bruises
like way.
easy.
She took way. It was way too thin. That
Right.
blood was fucking thin. So I took her to the ER, and I sat with her, and I'm like, I have a set, So let's keep in touch. So then I go and I'm like, oh, I know she's gonna have to stay over. She
Yeah.
looks awful. I was so
Yeah.
excited, and then I get a text at Bar Lubitsch. Hey, they said I can come home, pick me up.
Oh my God.
And I was so angry. I've been angry for a day and a half because I dreamed of the moments of being alone without her, and I was so excited for them. And when they
Right.
were savagely taken away from me,
You were sabotaged. Your psyche was sabotaged.
I wish I had never known she could have been in the hospital that night.
Right. Oh.
And then I'd just been, because then I had been meeting with architects to try to figure out something.
Yeah.
And everything's too expensive. It's just, I can't justify it. It's like, I can't do
Right.
it. So now I'm like, oh, all right, well, I'm just fucking cornered here like a fucking rat until, and I'm, have to wait till somebody dies before I can be happy.
I hope it isn't you.
Me too.
Right.
Right. I know it would be such a great story if I died in a car accident on the way home from her funeral.
And then what? Oh,
Driving
on the
to
way
my
home
house
from
for the
her
first
funeral.
time. Yeah, and say she dies right after my son goes to college.
Right.
So I'm finally looking at an
Right.
empty
6
nest.
years from
I have
now.
the Felicia Michaels life, and then I die in a car crash on the way to my house. That's going to happen. I know it.
Because it's you will have had one day alone
In my entire life.
in your entire life. Well, please don't write that. Well, write the screenplay, and then it won't come true. Isn't that how it works?
Yes,
Isn't that how
magical
Hollywood
thinking
works?
totally works.
Sure, it's magical thinking. It's
and then I was at Comedy Magic last night, and I had 3 okay sets.
Yeah.
Where I just had to wrestle a lot,
Or did you do like the main room, the patio, the main room?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I just left, and and my mom, and I'm like, I don't want to be in my skin anymore.
Right. Andy was like, well, this is clearly stress. And I was like, what do I have to be stressed out about? I'll tell you what I have to be stressed out about. So we did our taxes last week. And my brother calls me. He's like, you saved the money, of course. And I said, yeah, we pay quarterly. Both Andy and I forgot to pay quarterly for 2 years.
Oh, really?
For 2019 and for 2018. We're in 2019. So we had to come up with a great deal of money.
Oh, no.
Guess what's we've taken a hit in the prudent reserve.
Yes.
We have a prudent reserve, our savings. I call it the prudent reserve.
Right.
Because I've never had a prudent reserve in my whole life.
Right.
And it's been great to have such a thing. And it's fine. I'm going to Comedy Works this week, so I'm going to make good money.
Sure.
I'm also but I was like, what just happened? And
that hurts.
So Andy was like, can we have envelopes? Can it be in the calendar?
Yeah.
Can we make sure that we're doing this? And I was like, yes, we can do it now. Now that we both thought the other one was doing it and neither one of us was doing it.
Man, I have an accountant that sends me a terrible email every 3 months.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Why don't you forward that to me?
No, I realized also like I don't have much in savings. Like I put as much as I can in retirement
Yeah.
and my son's college, right? I
Okay.
shovel it in there.
Yeah.
But if something were to happen, I don't have
You don't have 6 months?
I don't have a
3
lot. No,
months?
I don't have 3 months.
You don't
No.
have 3 months?
So I should, I've been taking a couple expensive vacations, with my son, trying to create some memories because I'm going to die, right? We've already seen that. So, I have spent some money, but
Right. So
I
there
gotta
might be
save.
time to do a lateral, sort of
Yes.
just to twist around a little bit.
Yes.
You got time. Did he read those manga or any of them?
He's read one. He loves it.
He
and,
liked it?
Yeah,
Okay,
school is kind of intense.
Yeah, school's intense. It's probably hard for him to do any recreational reading.
It's that's the only kind he likes is any sort of anime reading.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's because it's. I mean, the story's great, but there's pictures and there's well done art.
That's right. My son
Not
likes to read things with pictures.
No,
I've done a great job, Jackie.
it's not pictures, it's art. And
He would say the same.
and he would be right.
Right.
So we're
But-
both right. You're wrong again.
Oh, my
Again and again.
gosh.
Me and the boy.
At
We're
least
in
I
this.
switched my couch around.
I know it
so
looks great.
I'm
So what are you going to do
facing
in here?
The pool. Oh, that thing needs to be. Everything's old. I got this. I bought it in a panic, and
Right. And so things need to be redone. You think, or
that thing is the filter. It's so much expense.
oh yeah. So we just came down. We went up to spend time with Andy's mom.
Yeah.
And because I haven't been since July 4th.
Right.
I was pointed out.
Right.
And that because she likes me and I like her.
Yeah.
And so but she lives 3 hours north of here. So we're driving back to, actually in the house as we're leaving because we could literally just go overnight.
Yeah.
And I've been having this stuff.
How long is it? It's just a 2-hour drive, right?
3.
Okay.
So,
But it's through Central California. That's the pretty part people don't realize.
You're right. The 99, everybody. Get on it. We went out to dinner last night. The fanciest dinner. Because I literally, ever since they moved out of Lindsay into Exeter, the moms, I've been like, there has to be somewhere to eat that isn't fucking Porterville or Straw Hat Pizza.
Right.
And so I have found so many great restaurants in Visalia and in Exeter.
You gave yourself an assignment.
Right. And so last night, I was like, there was part of me that wanted pizza for some because my stomach was feeling better. I was like, well, let's jack it. Anyway, but neither of them wanted pizza.
Okay.
So we went out to dinner in Visalia. We went to an amazing Cajun restaurant that had more than just Cajun.
That seems like it's not good for a
Right,
like
'cause
you
too
should be
spicy.
having toast.
Right. Well, I just had my acupuncture. I have a team. I have a hippie team.
Yeah.
And so last week I did all of it.
Wait,
because
you did
I felt
acupuncture and Pilates
and Rolfing.
oh my god!
Yeah, I went to my Rolfer. He's got I don't know if you guys. He's been watching The Boys. Anyway,
I've heard it's good.
Right. Well, I know a lot about it now because it was a 2-hour session.
Are you feeling better?
I'm feeling human. For the first time.
And is it the Rolfing or the Pilates?
The acupuncture and my chiropractor.
Oh.
I saw everybody.
Wow.
I went and Kaiser.
Wow, that's like a tour of 7 different facilities.
Exactly. And I was like, no, I was going to take this week off. And I'm like, no, you're doing it for you.
Yeah.
This is all. I was like, yeah, but I was hoping to, like you were saying, just to lie here and do fucking nothing.
Right.
But I didn't feel well. So like my shoulder has been jacked and the Rolfer guy fixed my shoulder almost entirely.
Wow.
The PT person at Kaiser kind of was of help, but was not as helpful as the Rolfer. And she was like, "Oh, you're going to get a Rolfing session tomorrow? That will help more than me." And she did give me exercises, and she was talking about posture and stuff, and it was helpful. And then my Pilates lady was like, "Go." She was the one who made me go to the. It's a great story that goes on for. We have 2 hours,
dude. Yeah,
so,
please. We're doing 2 today.
PT guy. She made me go to the PT person because she was like, I can't give you exercises unless it's your doctor. Someone should tell you what you shouldn't be doing, who has more experience than me, your Pilates instructor, who I'm doing it for physical therapy reasons.
Yes.
But she was like, how about see a real person too, with a degree in physical therapy.
Yeah.
So, and then I went to the chiropractor because my neck has been all jacked, and he did an amazing job on my jaw and my neck. And then I went to my acupuncturist who was like, you have a stomach flu, and it's either a virus or it's a bacteria that needs antibiotics.
Wait, the acupuncturist can tell that? From how? From putting things in you?
Well, now here's where science people and Andy Ashcraft will go, are you going to see a Western doctor? But here's the thing, is my acupuncturist is a 75-year-old Chinese woman trained in acupuncture and been doing it for 1,000 generations.
Right.
So it is, diagnosis in acupuncture is done through the pulse and through looking at your eyes and your tongue.
Do you think, is it purely racism or...
Yes. What?
It applies to every situation.
What is happening?
Well, why acupuncture is sort of it's not embraced by quote Kaiser or the medical establishment
Because it's mostly preventative, and there's no money in preventative medicine.
Okay,
They're wrong. Because I've given her thousands of dollars.
I was just going to say, it
Yes.
seems expensive.
Yes. And she's retired, and so now I have to go to her house in Alhambra. So I haven't been to see her in 3 months.
Okay.
So it was actually very expensive because she gave me a month and a half's worth of herbs.
Oh.
Because I'm going to France. Anyway,
Right.
so, but okay. So it's done. What it is it's an ancient science.
Mm-hmm.
And is as much as... But it's more based on non-pharmaceuticals, right? There
Right.
are herbs that she gives me that are good for me, but they're not. It's not like she said. So your shoulder hurts. What are you doing? And I said, I'm taking ibuprofen. And she's like, how's your stomach feel? And I'm like, well, it hurts. And she's like, oh, I see. And so
ibuprofen is not good for you long term.
Well, it can.
I mean, nothing's good for you.
Right.
long term.
Life is actually
Terrible. Very
terminal.
deadly.
Terminal. Yeah. What are you writing down?
Oh, I just bought a bullet, a magic bullet, because my son has braces. So now I have to mush a bunch of stuff up because he can't eat it with his braces. Mm-hmm. And the two of them love everything I make in the bullet. So guess what? I have 2 new tasks I have to do every fucking morning is to make
Juices
smoothies for people.
Right.
And we're going through fruit. Like, I can't tell you. Because you can keep bananas forever now. And it's so expensive. And I have to keep buying fruit.
Right. Are you a member of Costco?
I would never go to Costco.
You can get things in bulk at Costco.
I'm not going to go all the way to Costco.
Costco's
no,
right
can't.
here. You live 12 feet from Costco.
No, I can't. I don't live 12 feet, and I
Did
can't.
you hear that Whole Foods is taking away the benefits from part-time workers?
It's so shitty.
Yeah.
It's so shitty.
Yeah, Amazon. That guy could rot in hell. That guy
Is
could
it
eat a bullet.
just the part-time, or is it
Just the part-time.
And
It was one of the. It was one of the reasons
One of the
why
perks.
one of the reasons why I wanted to work at Whole Foods when I first moved here. Guess what? Jackie Cation isn't Whole Foods material. They passed on me and my degree.
That sucks. But Trader Joe's scooped you right up.
No, I did not. I did not go to Trader Joe's, which I understand they still have benefits, but
Yeah. Okay.
So
have you been obsessed with the Shane Gillis SNL story? This week?
Only because everyone around me seems to be super intense about it.
Yes.
There's the Bill Burr thing from last week, and now there's
Did you
the
watch the
Shane-
special?
No, I'm not going to watch it. I watch stand-up comedy live.
It was really good.
Would you like to know
It was
that
parts of it? It was so there were so many
forward-
parts I loved.
I want to see Ed Mabry again. I worked with him in Charlottesville.
Okay.
He just moved here.
Yeah.
Ed Mabry.
Yeah.
He gave me his card to remind me of who the hell he was. And I ran into him at the golf course the other night. I saw a lot of great
Jackie,
comics.
are you selling me something right now?
What I'm selling you is live
you interrupted
comedy.
my story with a
I'm
business
selling you
card.
live comedy. Why are you watching
Okay.
it on television? Anyway, so there were many funny jokes because Bill Burr is very funny.
Oh yeah, there was some really great stuff, and he had some stuff where it's like you're like, oh no, like he starts going in it,
Right.
and you're like, oh God, please God no, and then you're laughing anyway, which is my favorite kind of laugh, right?
You're laughing anyway, or
Yes.
you're laughing because he's made a good point with a good punchline?
No, it was
It was a bad point with a good punchline?
No, it was just a funny. It was the first. He had 2 chunks, which I thought were interesting in the way he put them. He had talking about actors in wheelchairs, wanting to be playing actors in playing parts in wheelchairs in movies, right? So he had his opinion I didn't agree with,
Right.
But the jokes were so funny, I loved them. And then
So bad point, good punchline.
well, different point, good punchline. I don't know if it's bad.
I would
It's
say
his.
It's here's the thing about the difference between opinion and but go ahead.
So then later he starts talking about Stephen Hawking, and I was like, oh God, oh no, here we
He's
go
dead.
again.
I had a Stephen Hawking joke.
But his take on him was it went a completely different direction. It wasn't based on the wheelchair, and I was wondering if he intentionally did the first wheelchair bit first just to have people have that feeling of, oh my God, here we go again.
Right.
And then he goes a different way, because that also made it more funny to me as well.
Right. I heard about the disabled actor joke.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, and the thing about disabled or differently, whatever the fuck, right? If there's an actor who has cerebral palsy and there's a role for someone with cerebral palsy, the actor with cerebral palsy should have a shot at it.
Sure.
Because they don't get to do the other things.
Sure.
That, whatever, right?
The lead's always going to go to Daniel Day-Lewis, though. As long as... but he, the movie star gets the big role.
Well,
right?
What about this? What about this? What if you put a lot of movie stars around him? And then you pay him poorly, like that woman got paid poorly for the Rich Asian sequel.
Oh, right. The writer?
Yeah, the
Crazy
writer.
Rich Asians?
Right. So you just pay the disabled person shitty, and then you pay the famous people around them that are selling the movie really well. And then we can all be mad about that. But the guy who...
Terrible idea.
But then the guy who has CP gets to play the guy with CP.
Hear me out.
I'll hear
Let's start pushing actual movie actors off cliffs so they become disabled.
Interesting.
And then,
After the training?
Yes.
After all the training of how to be a really great actor?
So now you got Daniel Day-Lewis...
who actually has a limp or some fucking thing.
Right. All
right. We're making friends. That's all I have to say. I have to say that we're it's
but here's the weird thing, like, and I was very interested in response to Bill Burr's, like, when there's all the alt-right sort of like Ben Shapiro, Daily Caller, Daily Wire, that kind of, there's like SJWs are gonna fucking freak, and it's so strange how some chunks or jokes are seen as a cudgel against another group of people.
Yeah.
But it's not just them. It's like, when there's late night stuff and it's like Trevor Noah destroys President Trump. It's that whole comedy that can be used by one side to attack another side, in theory, right? Or that's the way the headlines are written, or that's how people interpret it. Like, they like a joke because they think somebody else is going to hate it, instead of just laughing at a joke.
Right. Did you see that Stuart Lee PC?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. It was great.
Right.
He's so funny.
He's great. But
I've already forgotten the whole thing, but I did watch the whole thing.
Well, it was how PC structure is killing America, and how it is being, and then it gets it gets made so specific by his grandmother, who just wants to have a cup of tea at the getting her hair done.
Yeah.
So, but with how. First of all, we all know that right-wing comics aren't funny. They just aren't. So if Bill Burr is funny, he's clearly not right-wing. How about that?
True.
And the jokes, there's a certain amount of... there's all this discussion that people give too much to. Did you see Carmen Morales' tweet about who's yelling at paintings? Remember that? She was like,
oh, yeah.
That whole thing about art.
Yeah.
And she's forgetting that people do yell at paintings.
Yeah. I mean, Hannah Gadsby yelled at a painting to great acclaim.
Right. And before television and radio, people used to yell at paintings a lot.
Okay.
And
things were ordered to be covered because they were too.
So there was nudity
or whatever. Yeah.
Remember that guy who "This is not a pipe"? Remember, you ever see that painting of a pipe and underneath it says "This is not a pipe"?
No.
Well, he's an old-timey artist guy from the early 1900s.
Okay.
This is going to be a real fun Dork Forest kind of moment.
You stop commenting on your stories and just fucking tell them we're interested.
Are we? Okay, so here's the scoop. The same guy who did "This is not a pipe," he did a sculpture called The Fountain, or Fountain. And all it was, and this is in 1905 or something like that, was a urinal that he put in an art museum entitled The Fountain. And there was outrage. People were like, it's a urinal.
Right.
And he's like, it's art if I call it art. Watch me do it.
Maplethorpe, right?
Yeah, maybe. Maplethorpe with the kids stuff, right? That was the photography.
Yeah,
guy.
I don't know. I don't think it was pedophile. No. It was he's the guy that was really good friends with Patty. Smith, and he had art that was considered it was like religious art. It was offensive to Jesus or Christians or Catholics or whatever. But
I've seen some real nice basketball Jesus. Come on, let's do this.
But I mean, there is this sort of like a bit of male bonding type of comedy that seems to get a response.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure it gets like laughs, like from like if you
is it applause break comedy?
Yeah.
Which I just tweeted that people need to use it sparingly. I've done it. I'm not above it.
Sure, and I think like these are awful terms. Like super quote woke comics also do it.
Yeah, everybody does it.
There's jokes that they're not. Maybe they're rants or they're not jokes actually that get people.
And Bill Burr is a ranty comic,
but he had a ton of great stories and stuff in his special.
Great,
but
he's super powerful ranty guy though.
Yes,
sort of like Augie Smith and Doug Stanhope.
Right.
And, yeah.
So it's sort of there's that kind of, I guess, right wing is kind of activates this anger that the audience might have, and the left wing is very intellectual. Yes, I applauding that because you agree with it. It might look great as a tweet, but it's not a laugh getter at a nightclub when you're being served drinks and there's a check drop. And with the right wing kind of comedy, it's sort of just getting the audience.
You're like,
angry.
you got to say a thing that people were told not to say that word, and you said it, so we're going to applaud because you said the N word. Or I saw somebody, yeah, I don't know. I weeded off, but there was a point to this.
So did you watch? What do you think of the? I think SNL's not going to fire him.
Oh, probably not.
I think they'll just kind of let it die down. It will.
It was Tisdale, Jenny Tisdale's tweet about it. She said, "If you would have said a sentient hoodie was a racist, I would have not been surprised." and that's what she called him, a sentient hoodie.
Okay,
which was funny.
I don't know him.
I don't know him. I don't know any of these people.
Right,
but
Well,
it'd be great if it wasn't so dude bro-y. The thing is when you do, and the rising tide of all these sort of good to mediocre male comics just getting on the backs of this, right? And just going, he was funny. Don't worry about it. It's none of your business. You are correct. It is none of my business. Everyone can do whatever they want to do, and I don't have to watch it.
Yeah.
It's not what I want out of stand-up comedy. But then, but you know what?
But
what
they have
an
audience that wants that.
Yes,
right.
What I want out of stand-up comedy, it turns out, is what I perform.
Yes,
and that is what I'm aspiring to. And I guess, just screw it. It would be I would say to young comics that it's a bit of a cop-out. For me, it doesn't feel like I had a guy when I first started doing stand-up. Mm-hmm. Remember Lou Deck? Did you ever meet Lou Deck?
I think I did. That's a great name, though.
It's a great name, Florida comic.
Okay,
with all that means. And
Todd Barry's from Florida, so is Alan Havey
and Brian Regan.
That's right.
And a lot of great comics are from Florida. And Carmen Morales,
Mr. Top, Carrot Top,
and and a guy that I opened for who
Tom Rhodes.
Tom Rhodes also from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so maybe it doesn't mean what I thought it meant.
No, I think it still does.
There's trouble.
We found the
guys.
8 that rose above it, and keep going, Jackie.
So, what was the point? What was I talking?
Lou Deck.
Oh, Lou Deck. Okay. Yeah. So when I first started in stand-up comedy, it was at this club that Bill Kinnison owned, right?
Right.
And there were 6 of us, and all of Sam Kinnison's friends who were willing to work for $250 for the week plus air and a shitty apartment to stay in Madison, Wisconsin, came and did stand-up in the 8 months that Bill Kinnison's club was open.
That's in the 80s, right?
84.
That's not terrible in 84.
$250.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was there? That's not terrible in 84. I'm saying.
Well, it doesn't matter. And nobody had 45.
Oh, right.
They were all Comedy Store comics.
Okay.
Who were friends of Sam's.
Okay.
That weren't headliners.
Okay.
But were funny. And some of them were funny. Some of them weren't.
Yeah.
And they were all 2 or 3 years in. I think Lou might have been 6 years in. Because what he did was he made us do. And when I say made us, kind of made us, where he was like, record your set and then I'll go over it with you. And I had to go to his apartment where he was being kept.
Oh my God.
Right? By Bill Kinnison, and sit there and listen to Lou Deck restart and stop my Walkman.
Oh my God.
The recorder. And every time I swore, he would stop it and go, you know what, let's listen to it again. Me just saying fuck over and over and over again. And then he said, you know, a couple of things. And he never, also, I'll give this to Lou Deck. He didn't say nobody wants to hear women swear. I've heard that 1,000 times.
Right.
In the 80s and 90s. But, and today. Mm-hmm. But what he did say was something that kind of stuck with me. And it's a choice that I make sometimes. Sometimes I choose to swear because it's easier. Because it makes a shocking statement.
Yeah.
And he said, when somebody swears when they do stand-up comedy, it's because it's laziness. For the most part, they've chosen not to find another word that would have fit right there, that would have also made that joke work. And so, and his whole thing was, don't do it. Don't do it. It makes you sloppy. It's a cop out. Don't do it.
Yeah, there was like that was happening a lot in the 80s of men, of comedy coaches, just like, oh yeah, you got to keep it clean. Keep it clean.
There was so much keep it clean, it was ridiculous.
Yes.
But to the point of boredom.
Right.
I featured for a road guy who was like, I'm keeping it TV clean. And I was like, you're mind-numbingly boring. Please talk about jerking off in your hotel room. And I will say that is true. There is always another word for fuck, right? Mm-hmm. There is always a better punchline to make fun of. If you're going to make fun of the disabled, if you're going to make fun of the retarded, if you're going to make fun of black people, the punchline better be fucking outstanding. Mm-hmm. It better be the best fucking, because the thing is there is another joke with the existing punchline that you have. Like,
you've gone off on two things. You're saying swearing and then making...
Right, I'm just saying that the cop-out that is swearing
right.
is also easy target.
Oh,
easy targets are also a cop-out.
Yes. Okay.
Just because it's, to some extent, it's lazy writing.
Yeah.
If you've chosen to do it for a real reason, like, no, I want those dude bros that are like, yeah, fucking get the disabled actors. Those people should fucking rot in hell.
Right.
You know, if that's your aim... It's an interesting aspiration. Knock yourself out. Or you're just doing it because of laziness. There's only two reasons to do it. One is laziness, cop out.
Yeah.
Or two, you're trying to be mean. And you're trying to connect with those mean people in the audience who want you to go, yeah, fuck those guys. Mm-hmm. And those are both choices that person can make. Mm-hmm. But I would recommend, from my point of view, and this is entirely opinion, don't fucking do that. How about you don't?
Did you just say, don't do that, Jackie?
I did. Me and Lou Deck are the same. I should move to Florida.
I don't necessarily think swearing is a cop-out. It's how a lot of people talk now. And it's sometimes I swear more on a new bit because it's not
Can't find the
funny yet.
words. Yeah.
Well, it's not funny yet. I have an idea. I'm rooting around. And at least I'm guaranteed some
right.
sort of reaction, or people aren't just leaving the room, right?
Yes, and I do that too. Yeah, everyone does that.
But,
and everyone who says that they don't swear in a new bit because they're not rooting around, is lying.
I mean, it's frustrating to
try to
know
find
you're
the right words.
something, you're close and you're not there, and it's fucking frustrating.
Right. I think we're there. By the way, hang
what?
on a second. Let us do the comic of the week.
Oh, we're at a half hour?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So our comic of the week is Tiffany Stevenson.
Yes.
British comic here in the United States. It's at Tiff Stevenson,
yes.
STEVENSON. Very funny.
Very funny. She's at the Lyric very soon.
Lyric Hyperion here?
Yeah, in Los Angeles. And I think she either is or was just in Brooklyn or in New York right now. But she's real funny, and she's out here.
Yeah. So find Tiffany Stevenson and go watch her stuff. And then we should take a Max Fun break.
Okay.
Listen, I'm a hotshot Hollywood movie producer. You have until I finish my glass of kombucha to pitch me your idea. Go.
All right, it's called Who Shot Ya?, a movie podcast that isn't just a bunch of straight white dudes. I'm Iffy Whitey, the new host of the show, and a certified BBN.
BBN?
Buff Black Nerd.
I'm Alonzo Duraldi, an elderly gay and legit film critic who wrote a book on Christmas movies.
I'm Drea Clark, a loud white lady from Minnesota.
Each week, we talk about a new movie in theaters and all the important issues going on in the film industry.
It's like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner meets cruising.
And if it helps seal the deal, I can flex my muscles while we record each episode.
I'm sorry, this is a podcast? I'm a movie producer. How did you get in here?
Iffy, quick, start flexing.
Bicep, lats, chest. Who Shot Ya? Dropping every Friday on MaximumFun.org or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Okay.
So here's I do think SNL is sort of like, it's like when they're announcing the new people, it's like who's been drafted by the Patriots or something, right? People get very invested in
It's
it.
your fantasy baseball team.
Yeah. It doesn't pay remotely as well. But it's an institution. It's not a government institution. So
45 minutes.
What?
Yeah, for 45th year, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But people get very interested in who was picked out of everybody, you know?
Yeah, especially people in our industry. They get
Yeah.
very invested into who it is and who. So do you think that Shane, these three people who I will never watch, and except on clips on YouTube,
Right.
Do you think that they all have strong character work? That's why they hire people, right?
Well, Chloe does.
Okay.
And Bowen.
Who are the three?
Bowen
Do you remember
Yang.
their names?
Chloe, I forget her last name, begins with
Fair
an F. Bowen Yang was a writer on the show. And he's also, he's very funny. I don't know if
he
does
came
a
up through
ton
the
of
writing
characters.
program.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat.
Well, it's not like a program. He just got hired
No,
as a writer.
Right, but
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like a cool way
Yeah.
for him to have gotten the job.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
And Shane? Do we know
he's a
anything about
stand-up.
him?
But what's funny is okay, so he there's video of the podcast, right? And that just on a separate note before we go into that, podcasts count.
Oh, yeah.
People are fucking listening, and
They might even be listening at 1.5. You can speed it up.
Right. But they're remembering shit, and it counts. If you're a comic, it counts. So, for some, you and I were talking on a couch right now. It doesn't feel like this conversation could harm our careers.
Or it's being listened to
But
by
yeah,
anyone.
but I mean, it could,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that shit counts. And, I'm glad when I was a younger comic, everything wasn't being recorded.
Yeah.
And I got to fucking try shit and bomb, without anyone paying attention. Although what the thing was is that clip wasn't of him bombing at a stand-up, club. He wasn't doing stand-up. He was doing a podcast. He was talking.
A live podcast, which was panel, right? Essentially?
No, that one, but the initial one was him with a friend. They have a pretty successful podcast. They have
just
a lot of
themselves.
listeners. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that's when he started saying, all the Chinese stuff. And I think the explanation was, well, it's a character. But
Were you wearing a hat, dude?
if you're doing like a really racist character, make sure you take acting classes first so we can see you go into character.
Because we're not
it didn't
seeing-
look like character.
It looked. It sounds like it wasn't a character. It was his character.
And you know what? He's allowed to be that way, and he has an.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That can all exist, but when you get called
Or
up
let us
to,
say it will exist with or without our approval, right?
well, no. What I'm saying is I'm not trying to censor anyone. If his fans like that and he thinks it's funny, then he's entertained his audience, right? But he was thinking pretty small. If he's like, I just want to entertain the 20 guys on Reddit, or
Right.
whatever that really
Right.
like this
Right,
stuff. People, if you're called up to SNL, it's going to be found, right? I'm surprised SNL didn't find her. Maybe they did and they didn't care,
Or maybe they don't have a department.
right?
Maybe they should institute a department
Who
of
kn-
scrubbing tweets and podcasts.
Right. Who knew that would be a thing, and they might be behind on that. But
Do you know who knows how to scrub the internet? This
Solmson?
guy.
I pay him $1,000 a month, and he's on retainer. If you and I get any sort of network attention, this whole podcast is coming down.
Right.
Whose name? You didn't even listen to me. You're writing down a name.
Yes, Andrew Solmson
Yeah.
probably knows how to or who to hire. Right.
Yes. What do you?
That fuck. He knows how to scrub the internet.
Sure.
And what you got to
Oh,
do?
he took his own shit down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That
All
guy.
evidence of crimes.
all
Sure.
evidence of crimes and being gross and being disgusting. Unfortunately, he's creating new wreckage every day. So it's
Well,
too bad.
Well, I don't think SNL will. I think they.
You
would,
think that they'll keep
if they did, they would have. We're going to do it. They would have done it immediately. But
why do you think they're not doing it? Why do you think they wouldn't do it? I've never met anyone there except for Fred Armisen. He was on the program, and I knew him when he was a comic.
Right. I don't think. I think it's a story that's, while it's very intense for right now, I think it'll be gone in a week, in a way, because everything moves so quickly, and we just hop on to the next lily pad and get angry about it. But in terms of like thinking bigger, if you're a young comic, like networks pay attention to this kind of shit,
right?
And NBC's owned by Comcast, and
they pay attention, but you're saying they don't do anything anyway.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing that they won't, because they would have acted by now.
Okay.
Just because it's taken so long.
Right.
But that also surprises me too,
that they're not acting on it.
Right.
Yeah, because the thing is there's 1,000 of that guy. It's not like that guy's irreplaceable. Was he? I mean, he obviously went through several layers of vetting.
Sure.
But yeah. By the way, do you want to keep? You got anything else on this?
I don't know. I made lots of notes.
Did you?
Oh, a couple of comics really depressed me.
Oh yeah.
Like people I thought were smarter than that were acting like the fact that this was leaked was the worst thing that ever happened, and
defending the Shane guy, or not defending,
or just the fact that it was reported was like the original sin. No.
Somebody narked on him or something?
It was going to get found.
Yeah.
Okay, it got found on day one.
Yeah. Got found on day one. So
because he had taken
comics.
down. Pardon me?
Who?
Oh,
who's all sad that somebody was that somebody,
that guy, and then of course this guy. And these are people that I don't feel like have. Like, I can understand if you are
those two guys.
If you have some shitty content out there that you're hoping nobody finds, but these guys are both good joke writers, and I'm like,
and good guys.
Yeah. Why are you what are you angry about this?
Well, and
why are you on this side of history?
Because I'll tell you what, that's a great question, because both of those guys are great joke writers and good comics and good men.
Yeah.
But fucking button pushers.
Okay.
Like in real life, they've both done the Dork Forest.
Right.
Scan the Dork Forest. This is my tricksy way of you go to the Dork Forest. Anyway, go ahead.
No, you're right. It's just deliberate button pushing seems like such a waste of time and energy. But
so much energy.
I guess that's a lot of Twitter.
It's a lot of Twitter, and it's a lot of I think it's men are encouraged, to do this weird button pushing that. I mean, and I'm not saying women are bitches, man. Women are bitches, man.
Yeah,
anyway,
I know.
But men are button pushers, and I think that they're bred to be button pushers because they have to deal with so much more of it coming up than women ever had to.
What do you mean?
Well, I think that there's a. And this is arbitrary, and I'm making it up as I go.
10 brothers, so you might know.
Right. So the bull busting that goes on, among menfolk,
right,
that we have witnessed for 30 years, 30 odd years, will just be a reaction. You're just like, oh, I'm going to bust his balls, and then he's going to bust my balls, and then later we're going to have a real good conversation. You know, and so this feels like just sort of defending that sort of culture, which is weird. That
almost describes a lot of comedy right now of I'm going to fucking button push for a little bit and then get to my good shit.
Yeah.
So it's like warming up?
Right.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. It's just do the jokes. Just write the punchlines, man. I should probably, can I tell people that this week, if you are anywhere in the Colorado area, come to Denver.
Please do.
I'm doing Comedy Works all week. I'm doing the one in the Burbs, and then I'm also doing a benefit on Thursday day for Colorado youth. My hair is purple, so it should all work out.
I'm going to be in New York on Saturday night.
Oh, wow.
I'll be at the Stand, and I will be at the Broadway
Have you been to the
Club.
new Stand yet?
I haven't.
This will be it.
This will be it.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
I'm super excited. And it's been too long since I've been in New York, and I'm like, oh fuck, I hope I'm not all soft and LA-ish right now. You know
what? It'll be nice.
Very worrisome.
It'll be good.
I also think if a comic is under attack, right?
Yeah.
And this happens every couple months now, you know, if you know the comic, it's natural that you're going to be
Stand up
a little
for 'em.
less critical of the
Yes.
person, or, you know, pretend you don't see that story on Twitter or whatever.
I do like that.
So I wonder if those guys, if they know him and they just, you know, we are all tribal creatures. I would, you know, I would come to your defense, Jackie. I know you have some horrible skeletons in your closet.
Right. Again, listen to 600 episodes of The Dork Forest and find out what horrible skeletons. What horrible skeletons. Hey, let's stop again for another Max Fun.
Okay.
Macho Man to the top rope. The flying elbow. The cover. We've got a new champion.
We're here with Macho Man Randy Savage after his big win to become the new world champion. What are you going to do now, Match?
I'm gonna go listen to the newest episode of the Tights and Fights podcast, oh yeah.
Tell us more about this podcast.
It's the podcast of power, too sweet to be sour, funky like a monkey, woke discussions, man, and jokes about wrestlers' fashion choices, myself excluded, yeah.
I can't wait to listen.
Neither can I. You can find it Thursdays on Maximum Fun. Oh yeah, dig it.
We're back. Mm-hmm. So, I will say this is the jokes are coming together.
Yeah.
I have I've been trying to work. You know how like you have a dream. Let's put it this way. I have a dream for this joke that is 6 minutes long, but if I'm doing a shorter set than a 45, 55, I just do the parts that work because I feel the audience deserves them. Which means that I don't work on the parts that don't work, which means that the joke may not need them, which means that the joke might be much shorter than I thought, but I think that there's other punchlines in the other minute and a half.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes they're a lot shorter than
than I believe them to be.
Right.
It's
yeah, and I do think sometimes the audience is like, I've heard enough on this topic. I know you think there's 9 more jokes, but I'm actually done with it.
Right.
But that might be in your telling, in one's telling of it. You know, I don't know. I'm like, go ahead. Sorry.
I was also gonna say I just finished a book.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get away from comedy.
Okay.
I want to do a set tonight, but I'm doing a show on Tuesday, too. I'm in town.
Okay.
And, I'm so sorry, but I've forgotten where it is. Feel free to follow me on Twitter, @JackieCation. And did you see Jen Kirk? I'm going to go in 9 different directions. Did you see Jen's thing about her news?
Uber driver?
No, her news, that she wants people to sign up for her news.
Oh, yeah, she always does that.
She always does that, but she did a little video.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I can't tell if people are button pushing her by going, so wait, are you going to be... I can't tell if she is just being lit up.
I was first these tweets were first pointed out to me by Paul F. Tompkins, who said it was one of his favorite parts of Twitter is when someone says to Jen, when you come into Philly, and she says, I was just there. Maybe if you subscribe to my newsletter, you get it. I love it. Yeah.
Oh my God, it was so funny. I don't have all of my brain cells clearly because I was talking about something.
You were talking about...
Oh, I have a Tuesday night set, but
Okay.
I would like to... I might, after this, go to Flappers and just see if I can strong arm my way on.
You probably can.
There might be something going on, at least an open mic.
I have sets every single night, and then I leave on Friday night for New York. So
That's why we're doing 2.
Yeah.
Because I come back... There's a Sunday night show in Denver.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's why I'm coming back on Monday.
Okay.
Which is why we have to do 2.
That's okay with me. Sometimes these Sunday night podcasts, then my brain is wired and I'm up till like 1, and then I start my week off exhausted.
Right. Well, we're going to have to record several of them because of this France thing. I was just looking into Lyon.
Yeah.
And it looks like there is a movie. There's a museum of miniatures that have been used in movies. And it's supposed to be great, but I've seen such things here.
Yeah.
But let's travel to France and see it.
No, yeah. You're in France.
Right.
I mean, if you're going to go to a museum, go to the Louvre.
Well, not in Lyon. In Lyon,
I know, but I'm just saying, you don't have to see miniatures in France, Jackie. You can go to my mom's bedroom and see.
She got
little
some
gnomes.
porcelain cats.
Yes.
What's going on?
Right.
All good for her.
Do you remember Lipton Tea used to give out? They used to have little porcelain animals.
I do not.
Oh, yes.
She get them? She get them all?
No, but growing up, one of my friends, Jenny, her mom was from Britain, and she loved Lipton tea. And they would put a little porcelain animal inside every single box of them, and you can collect them all. And I got a lot of them.
All right,
because Jenny was over it.
Oh, right. I just finished a book that you will like because I've been afraid of reading this author.
Who?
For 30 years, James Baldwin.
Oh, right. I have not read anything by James Baldwin.
I have been told by my friend Mary Skinner and by any number of friends over the last 30 years to read James Baldwin.
Right.
James Baldwin, African-American writer. And I always felt, this is what I felt what the books would be. And I've only read one so far.
I have not read any of his books, but I have forwarded many of his quotes on Twitter.
Oh, have you?
Yes.
There you go. That's what made me finally go, stop forwarding quotes of an author you've never read.
Well, if it's a quote you just read a quote. That counts.
Wait a minute.
It's not a book.
Right. I think you're right.
Thank you. I have read Baldwin.
Wait, Kilmartin's read Baldwin. And
I've read lots of Baldwin.
And I read Beale Street, which was just made into a movie.
Oh.
But If Beale Street Could Talk is what the name of it is. Mm-hmm. And the reason I never wanted to read James Baldwin, because I've read all the quotes. And I was like, it's going to be heartbreaking.
Inspirational.
And inspirational and heartbreaking. And so I read If Beale Street Could Talk, and it was heartbreaking, but it was also incredibly funny and sweet and poignant. And here's the crazy part. Blessedly short. 193 pages. It reminded me, it's sort of like, I want James Baldwin to have Hemingway's career. Sort of like I want Chad Daniels to have Bill Burr's career.
Sure.
It's not that I don't like Bill Burr, and it's not that I don't like Hemingway.
Yeah.
And how great is everybody to get compared to Hemingway and James Baldwin here? Mm-hmm. Chad Daniels is going, wait, am I James Baldwin in this? Congratulations to me. Anyway, but it's because James Baldwin, it is so sparely written. It is just beautiful. The prose is, the words, it's so good.
Yeah, right.
And as, and I read this book, and the weird thing is I was like, I need to know that it ends well. I need to know that it ends well. And so I have to reread the last third of it because I was racing to the end. And as far as I'm like, did it end the way I think it ended? And so I have to reread it. And I don't want to spoil it, so I won't tell you. But I think you would love it.
Okay.
Because, first of all, you can read heartbreaking. Mm-hmm. It's almost your go-to.
Dude, I love it.
You love it. And If Beale Street Could Talk, it was great. So I just have to ask, I think the other Baldwin book was given to me by my friend Mary Skinner, a friend of mine from college, whatever, you don't know her. But it was a pile of short stories, which I've never been a fan of short stories. They're hard for me to read.
Oh man. It sucks because you're all into the character and then they're gone.
It's over.
Yeah.
You're like, how about a nice trilogy? How about that? How about we spread this out?
I'm reading Normal People by Sally Rooney.
Yeah?
And
what is
it's really good. It won all the prizes.
It's got all the prizes?
Yeah. She's an Irish author.
Oh, of course.
But no, I mean, it's really great.
Yeah.
Yeah. She does that thing that I like, where when a character speaks, it's not in quotation marks.
Oh.
And
how is it formatted? Is it just
it's just like it's
indented or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She just doesn't use quotation marks.
Okay.
And it
does it feel
just
more
doesn't feel like
immediate or something?
Announced when someone's speaking, quotation marks,
Cool. That's an interesting.
Cormac McCarthy does the same thing. And the first time I read him, I started writing. Like I used to write these little weekly blogs on my website.
I accidentally saw the movie that he wrote.
Which one?
Claire Danes, I think, where she fucks a car.
I don't remember that book. perhaps thinking of different people.
No, he wrote The Road, right?
Yeah.
And won the Pulitzer or the Guggenheim?
I don't
or
remember what.
MacArthur?
The Guggenheim?
There's a
I think
bunch
that's
of grants.
a museum.
I know it is.
I think
but
he
there's
won a
also
museum.
grant. All right, I'm checking the time.
Please.
Oh, shit.
How are we?
52.
Okay.
8 minutes.
Well, and then another hour.
Right. I've got 2 more big topics.
Okay.
That I'm saving, you guys. I'm saving the big top. So this last week, Christopher Titus was on Dork Forest talking about Prince. Mm-hmm. And that was fascinating. And I told Chris Titus that he was a jackass when we first worked together in the 90s. And he said, yeah, that's what I was. I was a jackass in the 90s.
Yeah.
And I said, then we worked in 2003. And he said, wasn't much better by then. And now, and because he's a pretty decent guy now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
worked with him at Roosters a couple times, and then I worked with him at
in the 90s or the early 2000s?
in the 90s
Okay.
at the Comedy House Theater in Savannah. Did you ever work those gigs?
Georgia?
Aubrey Pippin.
No. Oh, I've heard of Aubrey
Yeah,
Pippin.
man. The classic club where they want you to rate the feature, the headliner, and the MC.
Oh, that
And
was
then,
a glimpse into like a hell.
yes, and then you give your answers to the waitress who puts it in a giant like fish bowl. And I was working with Mo Alexander at I forget which one we were at. It might have been Columbia, South Carolina, and the headliner was the guitar guy.
I'm kind of jealous.
The headliner was the guy with the guitar, a country singer, Rodney Carrington.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was working clubs back then, and so Mo got the fishbowl, and we just started picking out all the ones that criticized us.
Oh,
they even remembered us, by the way, because they're like, Rodney.
Right, exactly. And if anyone thinks that if you had access to that bowl and you weren't throwing away the bad ones,
Yeah.
they're out of their damn minds.
Yeah.
That's why they got rid of the rating system, because they would lose those people's telephone numbers.
Oh, yeah, their email addresses
Right, and
and
the
stuff,
email
yeah.
addresses, because we were like, oh, they didn't like me, crumple.
Yeah, fuck you. I
Yeah.
don't want you back at this club ever.
Exactly. I'm trying to work for a living. And that's hilarious.
But-
Rodney Carrington, wow.
Yeah, horrific that they would even ask. You know?
It's just a terrible idea.
But he was he was never at the club. It was like his little
would zoom
comedy
in and
franchise,
come out and-
yeah. And you
I
like,
drove his car once.
Aubrey's.
No, Rodney Carrington's.
Why?
Because I was
No, I don't mean Rodney was never at the club. Oh, Rodney was like at the club. Pippin, yeah.
Yeah, I thought you meant Rodney would come in right before his headline set, do a set and bail.
No, and then he sold T-shirts for $25 a pop afterwards. And
In the 90s?
yeah, he was the guy that told me if he didn't like the crowd, he made the T-shirts more expensive.
You know what? The guy's kind of a marketing genius.
Totally.
Yeah,
I just,
not even
I just
kind
drove
of.
by a billboard where he's at a casino.
Oh, he's always
months
at a casino.
ago. Yeah.
So I was doing the Tulsa Comedy Club in Tulsa.
Right.
And
Oh.
it was the last time I featured, and it was for a New Orleans guy. Mm-hmm. What the hell was that guy's name? I used to know it, but he was a New Orleans comic named Jack, I think.
Okay.
And his wife had won the lottery. The lottery.
Wow.
And I worked with him, and he was drunk most of
Like
the time.
how much? Like 100,000?
Millions
or like,
of dollars.
What
Right.
the
He won the Louisiana state lottery for
Oh
millions
my
of dollars.
God.
And I said, well, what are you guys doing
No
with the
wonder you
money?
don't remember his name. He's done. Why would you keep doing this?
Well, that's what he said. I'm not good at stand-up comedy, but I'm really good at networking.
Oh.
The Randy guy who owned the Tulsa Comedy Club,
Right.
who was a mess.
Is he dead?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I headlined
Right.
New Year's Eve one year, and he was the guy who came up and French kissed me at midnight.
Oh my God.
club owner.
But Jackie, it was New Year's Eve.
That's what he said. He was so fucking drunk too. He was tequilaed out, and I was like, "Randy, get off! You and your mullet got to get off my face."
That mullet. Oh my God.
Remember
that
the mullet?
How could you forget? It was the mullet.
Yeah.
It's the iconic. I'm sorry he's not here for you guys to see it anymore.
I'm not.
But he was, he
loved me, man.
Get a waitress pregnant or married a waitress?
He married a waitress.
Yeah.
I think,
yeah.
and his. Whatever. He was so racist. And so I was
Yeah.
at breakfast once, and he said, like, his daughter, 3-year-old daughter, I was with him, his daughter, and his 3-year-old daughter said something just
Melissa,
crazy.
his wife was Melissa. Why do I
crazy
remember
to
her name?
the waitress about the waitress.
Wait, what?
Racist. The kid said something racist about the waitress.
Wait, the 3-year-old?
Yeah.
About the waitress
Being
serving
black.
you guys? Oh
Yeah.
my God.
And he laughed, and I said, "Nope, nobody fucking learns that
Oh, my
term
God.
without having been taught that term." And he's like, "She doesn't know." And I said, Right.
Oh, my
You're
God.
the dick. And he
I'm
was
sorry
like,
he's not here to raise her any longer.
oh
my God.
Yeah, he's a mess. So, but he's dead now, you guys. Anyway, so.
Now
but
I'm worried
I
about
was
his
in
daughter. I hope
Tulsa.
she's okay. Okay.
So I'm in Tulsa.
You don't care.
Rodney Carrington. This back in the 90s. I'm featuring for the Jack guy whose wife won the lottery, and it was the funniest thing he said all week. He said, yeah, she won the lottery. And so what we're doing is we're sending all of our nieces and nephews to private schools because public schools in Louisiana, you might as well hit them with a shovel.
Oh.
And I was like, why don't you do that on stage? He's like, well, I wouldn't want to give Louisiana a black eye. And I'm like, dude, that's the funniest thing you've said all week. I did not say that. But he was super nice to me.
Yeah.
But he was the one who said, I'm not very funny, but I'm really good at networking. And Rodney Carrington was a good friend of his, came to the show one night, and they were like, we're going to go party. And they're like, you're going to come with us and drive Rodney's car. Because it was in 99. And
It was fun, Jackie.
It was right after I got sober.
Oh.
And so it had to be like 98 or 99. And so I was like, okay, I'm the feature.
Yeah.
And so I went
right.
and I lasted as long as I could last. And then it was me and Rodney Carrington's wife.
Okay.
And his wife wanted to go home, and I desperately wanted to go home.
Yeah.
And and Rodney was like, "But I need my car. We're going to keep drinking." And so,
you got to be able to drive home after you finish drinking.
You got to be able to finish drinking and then drive home. And so, his wife says, "I'll take Jackie with me. She'll drive her car back." Here. And I was like, what's happening? And
Wait, you're going to drive the wife home and then come back and get Rodney when he's drunk?
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds like a great deal.
Yeah. So what happens is so I drive her home but Rodney's all up in my face. He's like, it's a brand new car. It's a gajillion-dollar car. Be careful with the car. And I was like, I'm the only one sober here. I don't think you understand that it's going to be fine. I have a driver's license. Okay. So we drive to their castle, which is outside of Tulsa.
Oh, he lives in Tulsa?
He lives outside of Tulsa in a castle. Yeah. Or he did in 99.
Wow.
And so 98. And so then I drive back and I get back to them. And then I say to Jack, the other guy, I was like, so I'm going to take the car because we were lent a car. Remember Tulsa used to lend you a car?
I wasn't there when they
What a
lent cars.
terrible idea.
Somebody crashed it.
Of course. And it was banged. It was just a piece of
They
shit.
used to do that at Laughs Unlimited, too. You had a car and a house for the week.
Oh, the one in Old Sac?
Yeah.
The worst name of any part of town ever? Sacramento. Old Sac.
Jackie, as a former Northern Californian, I can't abide by your insults.
As a person who loves geography, I can't abide by you calling it Northern California because there's 6 more hours
It's
of
not
California.
North Cal. Oh, okay.
Because there's 6 more hours of California.
There's from Sacramento. There's like 3, Jackie.
Oh, Crescent Heights. I did it once. Did not know how far away it was
It's
from
called
here.
Citrus Heights.
No, it was Crescent Heights.
No,
Crescent City.
Oh, Crescent City. Yeah.
Yeah. And anyway, we can keep arguing, but
Wait,
why don't
did
we
you
do
finish your Rodney story?
Yeah, well,
People are on
essentially
tenterhooks.
Are they? Well, then let me tell you that I came back, the car unharmed. I left the car with Rodney. I said, drive Jack back to the condo where we were both staying. I'm taking the shitty car back to the condo, and I'm going to live my life. And then they both lived. Everybody lived.
Yeah.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Audience supported.